We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
E-A-G-L-E-S Swing of the miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. For the lead. Yes! Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
We're back. We're back talking all things birds. Ha ha. C'est quoi? And Joe, guess what?
I think
That's my quarterback.
somebody practiced today.
Practice?
We're talking about practice.
Talking about practice.
Do we
Guess
need
what else we're talking about?
playoffs?
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
We're talking about playoffs? Playoffs? Yeah, we're talking all things playoffs. Because we got the Birds taking on the Packers at 4:30 on Sunday. We might have a little inclement weather. It's whatever it is, Joe. That place is going to be hopping. It's going to be rocking. I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time keeping it focused.
I think we should start tailgating right now.
You know what, Joe? You're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. I would tell you and encourage the people out there. If you got them, crack them, because that place is going to be absolutely electric. I just, I mean, there's not much to break down from the victory on Sunday
No.
against the Giants. I know Rich is going to come on in a little bit and wax poetically about his man crush Tanner McKee and how he was lighting it up. And I've heard a lot about the conversation. Do you make Tanner? This is your opportunity to make Tanner McKee the number 2.
Yeah.
Like, can we just be for real for half a second here?
Stop. Just
If I think we said this at the very beginning, way back in August, before they took on the Packers to open a season in Brazil. If anybody else other than Jalen Hurts is taking meaningful snaps,
teams
something is going sideways.
the team.
And it's a shame, but it's just the reality, right? As good as Tanner McKee has looked, right? Everything that he's done has been in a preseason game. Listen, would I love for him to have had an opportunity to play with the number ones? Sure. I think that would have been I think you would get a better glimpse about Tanner McKee. But, like, the Giants are garbage. Your number 2s and 3s and 4s beat up on their number 1s and 2s.
You're right.
And you're not going to learn anything. You got some guys, you got Dallas Goedert, some meaningful snaps. I think that was good considering the time that he got off. You got him, a couple of catches, got him some decent yardage,
Right.
and then you get him out of the game, right? Jordan Davis, you can't sit everybody. He played well, but like, you got guys, talk about your linebackers, your backup linebackers, right? Hopefully guys that really don't ever need to see the field during the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you had
but the day that you got from Oren Burks
I know.
and Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Yep.
I mean, they were all over the field. It was kind of fun to watch. It was like a meaningful preseason game.
Pretty. Yeah,
Meaningful, meaningless preseason.
Preseason game that counted. It was nice to see. Johnny Wilson make some grabs. It was nice to see them really rely heavily on Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson was their main go-to guy. Now, like you said, I mean, it was very vanilla. The Giants didn't really show much defensively, scheme-wise, and they weren't going to anyway because they had already kind of screwed themselves anyway by winning the week before, so they didn't want to pile on by winning another meaningless game at the end.
They went and won literally a meaningless game and went from the number 1 to the number 4 draft slot. Like,
great.
You just can't, man. And then they doubled down on Joe Shane and Brian Dable and said, those guys aren't going anywhere.
Come on,
come back. I'm like,
with the shit.
Listen, Joe, I'm not complaining.
No,
Hey, Giants fans, I love the move to keep Joe Shane and Brian Dable.
Beautiful.
I love it just as much as I love the Cowboys denying the Bears the opportunity to interview Mike McCarthy. I hope Jerry Jones has the world's first cryogenic chamber and never dies.
No.
And is owning the Cowboys into his grave.
Yep. It's beautiful. He's the gift. It's like it's Christmas, waking up on Christmas morning. He's the gift. He's the gift that keeps on giving. He really is. Gotta love him, man. He is the glory hole.
The glory. Oh God.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Oh God, that's great.
Good time.
Yeah, listen, John. At the very least, Jahan Dotson he was able to get some yards, right? Gets 7 catches for 94 yards. You get Dallas Goedert with 4 for 55. But Tanner McKee did what he was supposed to do. Came in, was serviceable. As far as the two guys that we were talking about before, right? In terms of tackles, right? You had Oren Burks with, he's got 8. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Like wait, am I looking at? I'm looking at the right game. They just were all over the field, and they were able to get. They were able to play well. But I think you did what you were supposed to do this weekend, which is get everybody healthy. So look no further than when you look at the Eagles injury report from today, and you got everybody healthy.
Everybody's either practicing or at a limited capacity, and you're gonna some of these guys you're gonna ease in. You don't know how Kenny is, and there he is.
It's Ref Rich. What up? It's good.
What up, boys? Dude, it's a rough night when you almost tee up a girl in a 4th to 6th grade basketball game for throwing bows. But you got to do what you got to do.
All right, stop. Rich, we're just going to pause the Eagles Giants regular preseason game to say, right. Let's hear about the almost ejection.
Oh, well, the one girl was just getting frustrated, and she decided to throw a bow at another girl, and she did it the first time. Called foul. I said, hey, don't do that again. And then, the girl got by her, and she gave her one of those to the back. And I said, yo, blew the whistle. I said, listen, I already told you, we're not going to do it again. All right? Next time I see any of that, it's a technical and you're out of here. Ref Rich doesn't play. Ref Rich is very mild-mannered. Yeah. I officiate the game the right way. You know, we have fun. It's 4th to 6th grade basketball. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, it's ridiculous. I don't. Oh man,
Oh,
it's
that's great.
the things we do for side money and side hobbies. I love every minute of it, though. It's
Oh, it's true.
great.
It's
great.
true. Rich, would you like to wax poetically about your boy Tanner McKee and how he should be the number 2?
My man, the Mormon Missile, as the Eagles players call him. Dude, he's really everything that you want in a backup. Big arm, smart, can see the pocket, and can see downfield. There's no reason why he shouldn't be the number 2. And to be honest with you, there's no reason why he shouldn't be a starter on about 7 or 8 teams, which is absolutely crazy to say. But when you're 6'6" and you're the prototype of a pocket passer, God bless you. Like, that is a guy who, one, he's bigger than fucking everybody. And it's amazing to say that he can actually see over our offensive line. And his vision's great. Like, and he throws a good ball. Like, that's what you want. We saw it in the preseason. Kenny Pickett's small hands, like, he's a 5-yard guy. Like, 3-yard dunk, 5-yard dunk. Throws a 38-yard wobbler AJ Brown has to come back to. But, like, you see Tanner McKee out there just throwing dimes, slinging it downfield. How is he not your number 2? Like, that's fucking crazy.
And here, just to tie a bow on all this, right? What he's under contract not only for next year, but then he's got the year after that.
Yeah.
What I would tell you that if you can get any draft pick for him,
yeah,
you move Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee obviously slides into the number 2 because I think I don't even care if you don't get 1-to-1. Like, I don't even care if you get back. Like, I would take less than what you gave up back just to be able to move on from.
To move up.
Oh, 1,000%. And I think they're going to be able to. I think someone is going to go out there and say, hey, Kenny Pickett looked good for the Eagles, so let's bring him in. And it's going to be a team that doesn't have an offensive line as good as the Eagles. It's going to be a team that is in desperate need of a quarterback who can actually not turn the ball over. Because Kenny Pickett, he really doesn't turn the ball over, but he's also not going to kill you with his arm. He'll just dink and dunk you down the field. Like, he reminds me of, like, Jimmy G, the career year he had in San Francisco.
Yeah.
If he gets the ball to playmakers, which he has one of the slowest handoffs and slowest releases I've ever seen, and I'm whispering because I don't want other teams' GMs who listen to our podcast for our sound advice to hear it, right? And then you slot Tanner McKee in as the number 2. I mean, that's what you do going forward. And I have a lot more confidence in this offense, and to see how the players respond to Tanner McKee is way different than how they respond to Kenny Pickett. Like, I get the story and how he absolutely loves Kenny Pickett. He loved him since the draft because he's a fucking local guy. Like, I don't give a shit. Tanner McKee is the stereotype of pocket passer quarterback.
Right.
He can run the RPO. Who cares? He can throw the ball 60 yards down the field.
Right. He has surprising mobility for his size, though.
I think Joe's muted.
Am I? Hello?
No, you're not.
I can't hear Joe.
We got you. Joe, I got you.
Okay. You can't hear me, Rich? Rich. Can you hear me, Don?
I got you. I got you, Joe.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Rich, you there? You good? Rich is playing freeze tag. You good down there, Rich? You gonna team me up too? You gonna team me up?
Oh, all right. Well, while Rich figures out his technical difficulties so he can hear Joe. Joe, I just want to
technical difficulties.
Joe, I want to give you, and this is kind of a prime example to kind of talk about Howie Roseman, to look at the draft picks. Right, because a lot of the guys that are down the roster, look at these guys that they've taken in the last. I'm going to just give you the last couple years draft. Right, Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt, Will Shipley, Aniyah Smith, Jeremiah Trotter, Trevor Keegan, Johnny Wilson, and that Dylan McMahon, who they cut, who is now starting for the Rams. Like, out of all those guys, right, you got contributions from your first 3 in starting roles.
Yeah.
Right. And then you go to the next year. Right. Just 1 year removed. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Tyler Steen, Sidney Brown, Keely Ringo, Tanner McGee, and Moro Ojomo. You got contributions from every one of those dudes.
Yep.
And then the year before, Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, Nakobe Dean, Calcaterra, contributions from all those guys. The year before that, 21, Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, Milton Williams.
Wow.
Like
Hit after
the,
hit.
the only guy on this list that I see that didn't make a contribution is a guy they drafted in the 6th round in 2022, Kyron Johnson. The drafting has been wildly elite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still can't hear Joe, so I don't know what the hell's going on. And it makes me
That's
sad.
weird.
Why
That's
did
all I
you
want to do is hear Joe's voice.
Why did you do that to me, Rich?
I
That's
can't
so-
hear you. I'm trying to read your lips, and I'm
Rich
not good at it.
can't hear me.
I'm gonna spend the show transcribing Joe's conversation.
Can we
into
put
Rich.
Joe's closed captioning on for Joe, please?
Here, let me do this. I'm gonna remove Joe and then bring Joe back. Joe, you got anything?
I can actually. I heard Joe hitting his phone.
Joe, talk.
Yep, I hear Joe now.
Joe, talk.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank God.
All we had to do was switch positions.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ! I'm like, I just want to hear what Joe's saying. I think Joe made a funny, and I couldn't hear what Joe said.
I did, but I
Oh
don't
God.
actually funny.
All right. Well, listen. Let's just get into it. Eagles Packers 4:30 Sunday. Talk to me about your initial thoughts.
Who's
They play in week 1.
who's
It was the
afraid?
win in Brazil to kick off which this team that's playing right now is not even the same team that played
No.
in week 1.
Right.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
You're talking about you've got a key offensive weapon and a key defensive weapon for the Packers, both out
Mhm.
in Christian Watson and Jair Alexander. Talk to me. Let's start on the offense first. If you're on offense, how are you approaching this to attack this Packers defense?
yeah. I mean, your bread and butter is obviously the running game. I mean, Saquon's going to get his touches. I mean, game 1, he scored 3 times. He had a rushing touchdown. He had that crazy catch on the wheel route in the corner of the end zone. But you can really exploit to the Packers' pass defense. The pass defense is really not good at all. This is the kind of game where that the playbook. I mean, it's the playoffs. This is it. It's do or die. It's win or go home. So they've got to have the full arsenal. Everything's got to come out on Sunday. But I think they're just going to be able to impose their will on in the run and the pass, just because of how good and how powerful and how strong this offensive line has been all year.
Yeah.
You're getting your quarterback back. They said he looked sharp at practice. Yeah, I mean, it was his first day back. So just having that, knowing that your guy is back and he's back in the saddle. And, Saquon's got to – I think Saquon's going to come out with a chip on his shoulder for not playing last week. He's got something to play for with that yardage total for total, including the playoffs. He's got
Right.
that to try to achieve. So you're at home. It's in your building. We're rolling. Your quarterback's back. I'm pretty sure this whole team is going to be at your disposal on Sunday. I can't see anybody of importance missing the game and having your whole arsenal there. The place is going to be juiced like beyond belief. And it's going to be cold. I mean, Green Bay plays in the cold too, but we're in our building, and we are going into the playoffs on a high, whereas the Packers have been an up and down team a lot of the year, and a lot of their wins have been against teams that aren't very good. Jordan Love is banged up. He's probably going to play. So, you got to get him off his spot. Josh Jacobs is a good running back. They have a good running game, but you're home. You've got the best defense in the league, and you've got that crowd. That crowd is going to be just relentless. You feed off the crowd, and you feed off each other. I mean, because this team's got big. This team has Super Bowl goals, so they're going to come in and they think they're going to smash them.
Yeah, I don't see. I just don't see a way they lose unless we turn the ball over 5 times, which I just don't see happening. Jair Alexander out. That's a huge part of their defense, and they haven't been the same without him. Xavier McKinney is great safety.
Yeah.
But he's not locking anybody up. It's not his role. It's not his job. I think it's like Valentine is the other corner. He's susceptible.
Yeah.
Not worried about him. All of our guys are going to be full strength, full goes. Hurts is back. I mean, the playbook, like Joe said, it is going to be wide open. I think you're going to see early and often that ground attack just go to work, chew clock. And the main thing is capitalizing in the red zone. The Eagles capitalize in the red zone. It's going to be a real tough day for Jordan Love and that elbow. Let's be real. That elbow is not going to be 100% by Sunday. It's not. And Jordan Love is prone to make mistakes. He can throw 3 touchdowns against you, but he'll also throw a few interceptions. Defense has to step up big. This is a game where the defense goes, we have a chip on our shoulder because we are that good, and we need to show the NFC we have the best offense and the best defense. I was just looking at, just records and everything, like just through the season earlier today, and I don't think anybody matches up with the Eagles. Not this Detroit Lions, not this Minnesota Vikings team, not this Green Bay Packers. And I don't like looking forward because it always will bite you in the ass. But I just don't see a world where Green Bay wins because their strength is Josh Jacobs, is establishing Josh Jacobs. One of our strengths is stopping the run. Jalen Carter is going to be a menace. That's my boy. That's my dog. He's going to be a menace all game. You're going to see a lot of him. You're going to see a lot of Jordan Davis because you're going to need to plug the holes. You're going to need to stop the run. You leave Jordan Love on an island to throw to Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Dobbs and Kraft. I'm not worried about those guys. Those guys aren't world beaters. They're not guys who are going to go out. They're not the elite deep ball guys. They're not 100-yard wide receivers.
Yeah.
They are just your role players. Stop Josh Jacobs, you win the game.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, Rich, when you look at it, right, like the elimination of Christian Watson really shortens the field for them.
It does.
Because he was the guy, like everybody in their offense does, like every offensive weapon does, like it's almost like they do one thing specifically really well.
Agreed.
Right? Like, so Christian Watson stretches the field and he normally gets deep. So you eliminate that, right? And who are you replacing that with? You're replacing that with Bo Melton? Like, Bo Melton is not stretching the defense.
No, I mean,
so, like, so now, like you're gonna get between Jalen Reed, Romeo Dobbs, and Dontavian Wicks, you're gonna get motion. You're gonna get, like, they're gonna run motion like very similar to what you saw with the Rams. You're gonna see, like, I think they have like a motion, like it's like 75% of their plays are gonna involve motion. You're probably going to see some jet sweeps. You're probably going to see, moving those guys to try to optimize matchups. But I just don't see how they line up and it matches up with what they're going to face on defense, because they're not, like, their offensive weapons. We've got, I think what people are forgetting is how good this defense actually is. It's almost been like this, like, little side, like, it feels like it's like this little side story on the side. Yeah, the defense. This defense is incredible. Like, might be one of the best defenses we've watched in this franchise since those early 90s gangrene defenses. Like, they really just, they get after people. I love how this matchup on our defense and their offense, how it, like, I just don't see a position group where the Eagles aren't better.
Yeah. No,
Like
I mean,
up and down. Like I think the only place would like maybe if you wanted to debate the quarterback, maybe, right? I know that there would be some people that would take Jordan Love over Jalen Hurts, but I think for every position group, most of them aren't even a conversation that it favors in the Eagles.
you saw it without Jalen Hurts, the Eagles' offense looks completely different. I mean, we were just lucky to play two scrub teams without him.
True.
In the Cowboys and the Giants. I mean, let's be real. Our backups were crushing their starters because our team is just that good. But Jalen Hurts is an MVP caliber guy. I don't think Jordan Love is in an MVP caliber conversation. I think he is a good above average quarterback. I think Green Bay has their quarterback going forward. But like you said, their wide receivers all do something similar. Dontavian Wicks, he runs the middle routes. Same thing. Intermediate routes. Romeo Dobbs. Jaden Reed is that short crosser guy, like trying to get him in space, trying to get him in motion. We have answers for all of that. And it starts with our pass rush, and it starts with the guys up front.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. My worry is if Josh Jacobs gets loose and is breaking off 9-yard runs, it's going to be a long day.
Because they'll RPO you to death. They'll run play action and throw it to Tucker Kraft in the flat. And I think the more that you can get after them on first and second down, and put them in long, like second and long, third and long, the more that you give Jordan Love second and 3, third and 3, the more you're going to see that they're just going to dink and dunk, and they'll be patient and they'll be methodical.
Yeah. And I don't think Jordan Love can do that. Jordan Love outside the pocket is terrible. So I'm not worried about it. You get that guy scrambling and you get that guy. He is a very big hero ball kind of guy when he's out of the pocket. And that's where he is susceptible to interceptions and making bad decisions. I think we're going to have a milk check this week, boys. We're going to have a milk check this week. Reed Blankenship going to be back there. Milk check. Because every time a play breaks down, it seems like Reed Blankenship is in the right spot. And he always comes up with a timely interception.
Well, he's one of the exciting whites.
Exciting whites. It's going to be a game, and I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be more or less like 31-17, and that's being nice. I really don't see it being close. And it's not that I'm overconfident in this team. It's just I haven't seen this team get stopped.
You've seen it we've seen them stop themselves. Right?
Yes, I've seen them stop themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
But I haven't seen them legit get stopped. Like the 5 turnover game and Washington taking out Jalen Hurts. Like, yeah, okay, we lost to Washington. We still had chances to win that.
Right.
All game.
You still had all of the, we talked about it before. All of those things had to happen, and the game was still decided on the last play. I mean, if we're being honest, if that game plays out like the first 11 plays played in that Washington game, that game's not even close.
Game's 49-17, if that. If Jalen Hurts is in the game, they score close to 50 points, and no one's even talking about Washington.
Right.
I just don't see it. Like, I think there's going to be better. I think there's going to be better games than the Eagles. I think it's going to be Eagles assert their dominance and say, who the fuck's coming to Philly next? And our eyes are just staring at Detroit and saying, we're coming for you. Because, I mean, Minnesota Vikings on Sunday night was abysmal.
Ooh.
Like, that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen a 14-2 team do.
We'll talk about that.
9 fucking points, and you want the Eagles to be afraid of you? Like, I'm sorry. There's a lot of frauds this year, and I really see 4 good teams in the NFL, and that would be the Eagles, the Kansas City Refs, the Buffalo Bills, and Detroit.
The fucking Kansas City Refs.
Oh, wait, the Chiefs. My bad. The Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yo, you don't know this? Is my Patrick Mahomes jersey, baby. I just got this in the mail. My new Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
See the Nike patch?
You don't have a number on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
listen,
go to.
But it's true though, right? And I think the one thing that you think about, right, is that you're gonna play everybody but Detroit at home.
Yeah.
So
and I
and
feel
there's
very confident.
there's a reasonable chance that they could end up playing, like Minnesota could end up going back to Detroit and playing them again.
Yeah.
You know, and if
I
that's
thought
the case, I'm becoming a huge Minnesota fan.
I thought that game was going to be a bloodbath, and it
So
was.
did I.
It
I
was
mean,
a
we talked
bloodbath.
about it.
It was a bloodbath. It's just Minnesota fucking decided not to show up.
I mean, if you think about that game as a playoff game, you saw firsthand what happens when you don't put 7 on the board.
Yeah.
If you don't put 7 on the board, you're done. And they had 4 drives that got inside the 5 and got 3 points. Like, you can't, if on all of those possessions they kick field goals, they're in a better situation than trying to go for it. But I get going for it because you're not going to beat the Detroit Lions kicking field goals.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and Jahmyr Gibbs looked great.
Yeah.
But this Green Bay team, I think there's a lot of recency bias that's happening that's making people kind of waver back and forth because of what they saw from the Packers this time last year in the same exact position that they're in this year. But I don't think they didn't play a team like this. When they went to Dallas last year, that Dallas team was garbage. That
Didn't
Dallas
they
team
lose
was
to the
terrible.
Bears? Didn't they lose to the Bears?
Yeah.
On a last second field goal.
They lost to the fucking Bears, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you should be embarrassed.
With a game that you played your guys because you were trying to get a higher seed.
Yeah. It's not
I mean,
taking the day off. You lost to the fucking Bears. Like,
you
fucking embarrassed.
You let the Bears hang 24 on you, and the Bears stink.
The Bears are awful. The Bears are awful. Like, I don't understand where this is all coming from. This is a get right game. This isn't a team that you want to play for a get right fucking game. You're not going to want to. I don't want to play the Eagles to get right.
You let Caleb Williams work the team down the field with less than a minute left on the clock to set up a game field goal.
Right, and now flip the script. Right, our offense matched up against their defense. Like, I don't see it even being close.
No.
Like, if I'm looking at AJ Brown and Devontae Smith matched up against Carrington Valentine and Sean Nixon.
Oh, dude.
I don't see it. Rich, the guy that you talked about is the guy you got to worry about. Xavier McKinney is going to be the ball hawk that's going to try to make plays to turn the ball over, because that's how this defense works for them, by turning the ball over.
Yep.
You got to be, I'm not saying you got to have your, you get real tight. But what I'm saying is you got to be really careful with the ball to make sure that they have an opportunity to be able to not put them in opportune situations to, get quick possessions.
Yeah. Go, Joe.
Yeah. That goes for any game. It's football 101, but especially in, when it gets in a vacuum and squeezed and the pressure's bigger and the lights are brighter, you've got to be able to protect the ball. You've got to win the turnover battle in a playoff game. So it's, being smart with the ball, protecting the ball. Jalen, make sure you have the ball in the correct hand. You're still dealing with that finger. Everybody, it's all ball security. It's field position. It's, you hope. And Nick's been awesome all year with, the fourth down calls and the tush push. Are we going to go for it? Are we going to kick? Jake Elliott, you hope you're not in a situation like that where you're having to try to kick a field goal late in the game to tie the game or to put yourself ahead. So it's it's imperative for this team to come out and start playing well. Who got a technical? Did I get teed up?
I threw Lacey.
I didn't do anything, Raph. I didn't do it.
I threw Lacey out.
Lace is getting teed up.
Boss lady got thrown out.
She's in the comments throwing shade at all of us.
Wow, you know what? I think I think she's that was her technical. I think she's out of here.
Yeah, I think she's gone.
She's coming in hot. She just got home from work. She didn't even put the phone down.
Wow. She's
She
out.
just got out the car and just started firing off
Yeah,
comments.
she's like, fuck these dudes. Joe's cool, but fuck these guys.
Okay.
You know, they talked during the week, and you hear it on the radio, this and the T, whatever. Jalen, is Jalen going to come out? Is he going to be rusty? Is he not going to be sharp? Are they going to work him in and try to feel things out? When I think you need to be aggressive. You need to go out and take it. Don't be timid. Don't sit back. Don't play on what are the Packers going to do? We need to do what we do.
Yep.
We need to set the tone. We've played bully ball all year, and we need to continue bully ball. That's how we're going to win. That's how this team is going to win and have a chance at a championship. They've got to continue to play bully ball on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you're right. Out of all the playoff teams that are left, the Eagles have they've given up the second fewest points out of every team. This defense is stingy. I think if we go back and look at the schedule, very rarely are they. I think that this game is a game where if they get to 17, I think they're lucky.
Yeah.
I don't see how this defense gives up a ton of points, right? And going down the stretch, right outside of that Washington game, you have to go all the way back to Jacksonville when they gave up 20 or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was the last time that Nick really came out and was acting like a boob.
Yeah.
With the
like you have this defense is rolling, and you have an opportunity to be able to get to put this team in a spot, right? Not a shock that this defense has played well since you took out Avonte Maddox and put in Cooper DeJean. Right, Cooper DeJean has been targeted 73 times and has not allowed a single touchdown.
Right,
Quinion Mitchell's let up 2.
Which is
Darius Slay for as much shit as we gave him earlier in the year has been playing better.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say great, but he's been playing better. The back end of your defense, I think CJ plays that similar role to that Xavier McKinney plays, and that he's going to try to wreck the game from the back end of the defense. And like you got the best linebacker in football.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zach Vaughn. Right. You got the best defensive tackle in Jalen Carter.
Yep.
Like I'm kind of with you. Like I don't like I'm trying not to like look at it with the goggles on, but like I just don't see I don't see where this offense isn't able to put up points.
Yeah.
But 2, I don't see how this defense lets up a ton of points.
Yeah, it's not seeing it with goggles. It's just like, this is reality. Like,
Right.
This is our perception. We're not just making up bullshit. We're not Tampa Bay Bucks fans right now saying, oh, yeah, we're just going to go out there and look at how great our team's been. It's like, been a little sus, but you made the playoffs because your division sucks.
Right.
We dominated our division in most of the NFL all season. It hasn't been a joke. We should have not had a loss against Washington. We literally, like we said, it took it down to the last play, and there was a fucking false start that they didn't call. All right, who cares? You would have backed them up 5 yards. I'm just saying. If we're gonna look at it in hindsight, play shouldn't even have happened. We wouldn't even be talking right now about any of this. Everybody be looking like, who can beat the Eagles?
Right.
Like everybody's saying, well, who can beat Detroit? Well, who can beat the Eagles? There's one thing that Detroit can't do, but they did against Minnesota, and that's stop teams. Yes, we know they can score 55, but can they stop you? You force some turnovers from Jared Goff and have a good team, you beat them. All right? Yeah, they have a shit ton of weapons. Green Bay aren't even in the same league as Detroit. I'm not worried. Like, it doesn't scare.
This is something that came up that I'm going to give you. I want you to think about their wins on their and you tell me where their best win is. These are the teams that they beat: Indianapolis, Tennessee, the Rams, Arizona, Houston, Jacksonville, Chicago, San Francisco, Miami, Seattle, New Orleans. Those are the teams that this Packers team has beaten. I would argue with you, their best win is a 2-point win against Houston. That's the best team they beat all year long. And Houston is garbage because the Houston playoff game gets buried at after the Saturday afternoon game. This team, whenever they have played a good team, they've lost. Like they lost to the Eagles, they lost to Minnesota, they lost to Detroit. They lost to Detroit and Minnesota twice. And then they lost to Chicago in a game that they needed. Like I don't see it. And I think for me, if I'm looking at a prediction, I think this is a game where you kind of let Saquon show off. I think you let him kind of bounce early, and see if you can bounce one and get that joint hopping early. And I think he gets somewhere in the neighborhood of 150.
Yeah.
I think he gets 2 touchdowns. I think this is a way for him to kind of show off and show out in a way that puts everybody on notice and says, all right, everybody that's paying attention to the Lions, everybody that's paying attention to the Vikings, we're here and we're coming for you.
Agreed. I just don't see it. Saquon's 33 rushes, 183 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts 21 of 29 for 218 and 2. And the Eagles just roll. It's just what they do. I mean, I don't see it. The Eagles scoring under 31 points, and I see Green Bay. I see at halftime it's going to be like 24-6, and then we just kind of cruise into that. Get our last touchdown probably in the third quarter. We're up big. Run the ball, and do those game-killing drives that you see the Eagles are capable of doing, and we go from there.
Yeah, Joe, what do you got?
Pretty much the same thing with me. I think you'll see. Barkley will get his. I have him probably about 130, 140 total yards. I think he'll get 100 yards rushing. I think he'll get some receiving yards too. I have it 30-22. Green Bay scores late, and they go for 2 and get it. So it's probably like a 30-14 game, and then they get a late junk touchdown. But I mean, they're just going to impose their will. I mean, our every in every facet and every side of the ball, specialty, whatever it is, defensive line, offensive line, secondary, linebackers. If you go player for player and head to head, I mean, we've got the edge. We've got the edge. We're playing at home. Jalen's got a lot to. Jalen's gonna come out. I think Jalen's gonna come out on fire. All the talk of, the concussion. He's going to be rusty and this and that. Blah blah blah. He knows that they need to finish the job. I mean, they've got that bad taste in their mouth from losing to Kansas City 2 years ago, and they certainly have that bad taste in their mouth from the way that the season collapsed last year. You went into that playoff game and you were on life support. Those, and then playing those guys the last week last year and them getting hurt. You didn't have Sidney Brown. You didn't. AJ Brown was out. So you're kind of screwed from the get go. While limping into that game. So you're at home. You're in your building. And you've got. I mean, this is it. This is the sprint. I mean, this is where you positioned yourself. You're 2 plays away from being 16-1. So
Yeah.
this team is primed. They're ready. They've got the best defense of any team that's left in the playoffs. So it's theirs to be had. I mean, the Eagles play Eagles football. They're gonna roll right through any of these teams. but that's it. They've got to play smart. They've got to play
Yeah.
football. Don't turn the ball over. Try to force turnovers, and just play your game. Play your game. Do your job. Do your assignment. Tackle. Tackling is going to be huge. Getting Jordan Love moving. Back get hits on him. Get that elbow. Um, um, even more sore than it already is. So they're going to be ready. I mean, they've been ready all year. There's no reason why they wouldn't be ready for this moment.
Yeah, I think Jalen Carter probably has a big game too. I think his impact on being able to stop Jacobs is going to be big too.
Yeah, I mean, just let the man go. Maybe we'll get some holding calls in the playoffs.
Yeah, you never know.
You know?
You never know.
Yeah.
But the rest of these playoff matchups,
Yeah, let's go through it. Let's kick off.
Chargers Texans on Saturday.
Chargers.
Saturday 4:30.
I'll be right back.
Chargers all day.
I mean, listen, the Texans are kind of limping into the playoffs.
They're frauds.
It's so bad. And CJ Stroud kind of came back to earth.
He had an awful season. Like CJ Stroud and his decision making, it's like, what are you doing? And the Chargers are rolling. Like, you don't want to play the buzzsaw. And there's two buzzsaws, and they're both coming out of LA. The Rams and the Chargers are two teams you do not want to see. Not right now.
Rich, not that we would think that it would happen, but what happens if the Chargers and the Rams are both hosting championship games on the same day at the same stadium? What do you do?
That would be nuts.
Right?
That would be
Just
crazy.
thought about that. I'm just sitting here looking at this bracket going, if they both hosted, what the fuck would you do?
A lot would have to happen for that to be possible, but crazier things have happened.
Right?
Like, would you play
Yeah.
one game Saturday and one game Sunday? Like,
I think you might have to. I
Or
don't
Sunday.
think you can, like, unless you played like Sunday afternoon, 1, Sunday night at like 8.
there's no fucking way. You would not be able to clear those lots in time. There's no way.
Oh, no.
Like, that would be insane.
No, but like, just the game itself. Could you sell one? You would never sell one ticket for both games.
One ticket, $10,000. And
Yeah,
you
right? It's wild though. I just thought I'm just sitting there like, but you're right. I think Harbaugh's got them playing really well. Herbert's looked really good with under Harbaugh's tutelage. I think that to me is like the least in it. There's not a surprise that game is the first game. It's almost like I heard someone comparing the Houston Texans. Anybody that comes out of the AFC South, that's like the play-in games for March Madness.
Oh, 1,000%.
It's like play them on Tuesday when no one's paying attention and no one knows.
Abilene, Texas Christian Abilene, going to play UConn, and
It's
1 versus 16.
Yeah, no, it's just gross. But then Saturday night you got the Ravens Steelers.
Ravens all
Right.
day.
Right. I think the Ravens are the 3. The Steelers are not playing real well. You're gonna play in Baltimore. It's the third time that they've played. It'll be the third time that they've played each other, which is always interesting. But I think this is a game that
Well, it's hard to beat
it's
hard to beat a team 3 times because I think the Ravens won twice.
Well, and Rich, this is what's intriguing to me about a potential Lions-Vikings matchup in the second round. Because I think
same applies for that. Same applies for that. But we saw Minnesota stinks.
Yeah.
Minnesota. I love how Dan Campbell came out and said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna blitz and play man coverage," and they did just that. And Minnesota could not do anything. They could not stop.
Aaron Glenn looked really, really good calling that defense.
Yes, he did. What's the next game we got?
All right, we got Bills Broncos in Buffalo.
Bills. I like the Broncos though. I would love to see Bo Nix beat Josh Allen, and just Josh Allen's playing like out of his mind, but that dude has to come back to earth. Like, he hasn't had a game where he came back to earth yet and made Josh Allen mistakes. Maybe this is the game. But I think Bills.
Part of me just doesn't trust the Broncos defense,
No, they're so suspect.
right?
They could be.
Like I don't trust the Broncos defense to be able to like take the ball away. Unless Josh Allen is literally just feeding them the ball, I don't think that they have an opportunity to be able to. I think that Buffalo tries to put that game away early, and that, but that would leave a really exciting matchup if you match right. If you get the Bills Ravens in the second round, that would be nice.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the Chargers going to play the Chiefs. I mean the refs.
The refs. I got their jersey on, bro. Come on.
That's right.
Put
All right.
on the Chiefs' name.
Hey, in the AFC, right? You're gonna have the Vikings Rams on Sunday night.
I got the Rams.
You like the Rams?
I like the Rams, dude.
Talk to me about it.
It's just, I mean, they're hot right now. Who's stopping Puka Nacua? Who's stopping Kyron Williams? They couldn't stop Jahmyr Gibbs. You think they're going to be able to stop Kyron Williams? I don't. And the Rams defense is playing really well. If they mimic the same game plan that Detroit had,
Yeah,
I don't see how they lose.
I think you got a blueprint. I think you got the blueprint to be able to get to know what to be able to do. It just makes it just to me the Rams, they have enough firepower on defense to be able to make the Vikings sweat. And I think you saw the way to get to Sam Darnold. Like all you got to do is put pressure on him.
Yeah, put pressure on him, get him out of the pocket, and Sam Darnold folds. And Matthew Stafford has been there. Hasn't been playing well, but that's a guy who wins in the playoffs. So you don't want to see a team like that.
All right, Bucks Commanders. This game is on Monday night, which, can we talk about it for a second? I fucking hate it. I hate that there's a playoff game on Monday night. That makes absolutely no goddamn sense.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. I don't understand why. Will I be watching it? Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, the implications and everything, I do, man. I love Jaden Daniels. I think that guy is fucking electric. And I hate saying it because I didn't want him to go to Washington. I wanted him to go to the Bears and not be in our division because I knew he was going to be a fucking problem. But, man, that kid can play. And I just don't trust the Bucks. I do not trust the Bucks. The Bucks just squeak wins out. And Baker is just playing out of his mind. Another guy. When's he coming back to earth? I feel Washington gets the win, but it's honestly a coin flip. It's going to be like 24-21 either way. Like, that game is going to be decided last second. Whoever has the ball last, obviously, wins. Like, in the last minute, whoever has the ball, that's going to be who wins. It's going to be a field goal. It's going to be from somebody. I don't know who it is. I don't trust either teams. Because as great as Jaden Daniels has played, Washington's defense is not good. They've been playing better, but Tampa Bay's defense is another coin flip. Are we going to get the good Bucks defense or are we going to get the bad Bucks defense?
Yeah, you're right.
I just don't know.
Like, for me, it's hard because the Bucks are hot, right? They're playing well going in, right? Baker Mayfield is playing really well. He's getting the ball. He's feeding Mike Evans. They got Bucky Irvin. They have some good offensive weapons. I think the fact that they're going to play that game at home helps. Yep. But you're right. I think this is this out of all the games is probably the biggest coin flip that you could very easily make a case either way. And you're right. I hate the idea that Jaden Daniels is going to be in this division for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
because he's going to make it. The matchups that we've seen this year with Jaden Daniels and the Commanders and the Eagles, that has kind of cemented itself as where this division is going. I think this division is going to be decided between those two teams for a little while. Now, listen, we don't know, and we don't have to make a decision on the last game because the last game is the Birds game, which we've already discussed. Yeah. But the round 2 scenarios, if the Eagles win, if Tampa and the Rams win, the Eagles play Tampa.
I like that.
If Tampa and Minnesota win, the Eagles play Tampa.
I like that.
If Washington and the Rams win, then the Eagles play the Rams.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
If Washington and Minnesota win, then the Eagles play Minnesota.
Okay. Hey, I'm not.
So there's four. So there's four. There's four different scenarios. You're going to end up playing one of those three.
And they're
Bucks,
coming
Rams,
here.
Minnesota, and they're all at home. Joe,
they're all-
every game's at home unless they go to Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I like all
We're
those
in a
matches.
great spot.
Yeah, we are in a good spot. I like it. I like it.
That's
Go
it.
Birds, baby.
That's all I got. I got another variation on the tush push. You guys want to see?
Sure.
This is from the Virginia Tech Minnesota bowl game. Now the last one we saw was kind of like a Statue of Liberty ish.
Yes.
This one is more like a jump pass. So he kind of like ducks, takes like two little steps in, steps back, little pop pass,
Oh wow.
Nice.
right? Little bit of a variation on the on the QB sneak tush push. I'm just building an arsenal of
Tush push
Of-
videos.
tush push alternatives.
Yes.
I'm here for it. I'm here for anything with tushes. I'm a tush guy, Don.
All right.
I'm a tush guy.
Listen,
Keep
You
it
and me
G-rated,
both.
Rich. You
I
gotta
s-
keep it G-rated.
Oh, fuck off, Joe. I can't
well-
even see you right now.
listen. The kids are in bed. I saw someone. You know, like everybody's got their own crickets. Everybody's making their own stuff. I saw somebody with sweatpants, and the back of the sweatpants said "tush push,"
You know what they're
and I was like,
into, brother.
"That's not G-rated, but ingenious."
You are not giving out the right vibes, my friend.
Did you say go Birds?
I mean, how can you not?
Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Gentlemen, what do we got? Final thoughts.
Final
Go
thoughts.
Birds.
Go Birds. Big weekend. It's all about the Birds. Can't wait. Let's just hope the Eagles play their game and they go out there and we just destroy them and we can just move on to the next game. I'm excited for playoff football to be back in Philly, where it deserves to be. I wish it was through the whole duration, but it's not. So let's cherish what we got. Let's enjoy it, and let's just at 4:30 sit on our couches and fucking enjoy this game, baby. Enjoy this game. I can't fucking wait.
That's it,
Right.
man. I love it. You got championship weekend. You got football starting tomorrow night. You got a college football playoff game tomorrow night. You got Penn State, Notre Dame. You got a college football playoff on Friday night. In Texas. Who's Texas? Texas is playing
Ohio State.
Ohio State. And then you got NFL football Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh, it's gonna be
Like,
glorious.
5 straight
Four.
days. Like, just injected into my veins. This is a great time of year.
I'm so happy I'm off the next 5 days. After so happy.
Let's go. Joe, you got final thoughts before we jump out of here?
Yeah, I mean, riding the wave with the Birds. I mean, this is what we think of and dream of and want to be a part of. This is what we wait for all year. I mean, it's here, it's upon us, and it's time to do the job, finish the job, keep it rolling. Shout out to the people out in California dealing with the wildfires. Seeing some of these videos and just seeing what these people are going through is just it's terrible. But
Oh, it's
Yeah.
terrible. I did, on a separate note, I did hear that they have contingency plans for that game in LA. If they have to play it at an alternate site, it's going to be played in Glendale.
okay, yeah, well, good. I'm glad that
Yeah.
they thought about that. But yeah, thoughts and prayers out to all everybody affected out there. But yeah, it's all Birds all day, and let's go get a W. Let's go set the tone, and let's do it. Let's go Birds!
Go Birds!
Go Birds! Take us home, Rich.
Well, you stuck around, you fucked around, you found out. I'm Rich. That's Don. The blank screen down below, that's Joe somewhere. He's there. We love him. He's a good guy. The greatest guy. The funniest guy we know. That's Joe. We love Joey
The
B.
greatest.
The
Hey,
The
greatest.
biggest.
It's the smallest accordion.
The best.
Powered by accordions. It's just it is what it is. But yes, it's always fuck Dallas. And this week, it's a big fuck you to the Packers. Because why? We're going to fucking steamroll you. Jordan Love, you're going to change your name to Jordan Unloved because no one's going to love you in Green Bay after we destroy you. There's going to be no love lost. All right? It's just going to be the Birds, and it's going to be the Birds all fucking day. Go Birds. Let's go.
Go Birds.
Fuck Dallas.